Okay. So why don't we start by introducing you and your project one more time
Yeah.
without you muted?
Yes. My name's JC. I am designing a game called Normal Human Golf. It is a golfing game that is totally normal. It literally is just regular golf. I can't explain it more clearly than that. The trick is that I'm planning a lot of expansions for it that will add other kinds of normal golf, like normal wizard golf and normal robot golf and all sorts of other things. And so there's a lot of prototyping and stuff that needs to be done with it. And I haven't been fond of a lot of other tabletop simulators on PC. Mostly Tabletop Simulator on Steam. It had some issues with it a while back with some controversies that it had, and a lot of people are no longer accepting it. And also, it does a lot of things that I just don't really like. Like, I don't need 3D for most of my games. Like, it seems a little excessive. So, I'm looking forward to learning a new platform that I could hopefully prototype and iterate on things, because this game is going to need a lot of iteration.
Yeah, and this has a lot of hexagons, so I imagine that's going to be a real challenge. I think screen top, there's a lot of people who've written some cool scripts I think we'll be able to use, and so I think we can make it work.
Nice. I'm excited.
So,
And if not, we'll have a great time.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the most important part of any project.
Always.
So, let's get started by going into your game. I see you set up like
Yeah,
a
this
room
I
for
set
it.
this up. Yeah. So do I just click on it and just go into it?
Yeah, yeah. If you click on it, then there's like two different things you can edit on this page. If you click on the gear in the upper right, that's when
Hmm.
you could like edit the details of the
Gotcha. Okay.
game. And then if you and also on the top left, there's like page for if you want to put like
Gotcha.
whatever
Oh wow.
details
Okay.
on it.
Oh, so this is like if you were to like list it publicly,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could. Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
How do I get out of this?
And then if you click on the name, yeah, there you
There we go.
go.
Okay.
And then we could go to edit to start working on it.
Fantastic. Cool.
So I'm going to join the seat just because it'll make it easier to sort of set things up and play with our pieces and make sure they're working right. But now that you're in here, this area on this big area in the middle is like the table area,
Okay.
and this side panel on the left is like going to be where you're going to be doing most of your work from. Um,
Gotcha. Okay.
the assets is going to be where you upload like all the images, like your boards
Hmm.
and your sheets and stuff like that. And let's start with that first because you kind of need assets to
Yeah.
work with.
Sounds good.
So
So
you,
I'm assuming I just go to create
yeah,
and
yeah,
go to
click
plus.
on that plus, and then you're going to click on image, and then it's going to ask you to upload an image.
Gotcha. Do. We'll move this over here for.
Yeah, yeah,
I think there's probably isn't anything worth looking at, but just to be safe. He
yeah,
says after it had already been visible. It's fine.
yeah.
Uh, all right. So what are we gonna work with first? Do we want to do something easier like cards so that we can kind of get started with stuff, or
Yeah, well, why don't we upload a sheet of cards? Yeah, let's start with that. That's a good idea
cool?
because that'll be a lot easier.
Okay. So I've got all my cards here. I have the full sheets that I made of those. So I'm assuming we do this one at a time.
Yeah, let's start with one sheet of cards and then we'll go from there.
Cool. We'll start with the normal upright cards, and hopefully.
Super.
Cool. So I'm
S
assuming I indicate that it's 6 by 4
yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
So,
four by 6.
yeah,
Yes.
4 rows, 6 holes. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So then
Cool.
remember to click save. It'll complain if you don't. It used to not do that, which was really annoying. And then at the top, you might want to give it a name just so you could
Yeah.
recognize it in like a drop-down menu.
Sure.
Super. All right.
And then what
Then
are what are labels? I'm assuming those are like tags you can use.
yeah, those are like tags. I don't know what they're actually used for. They used to be used for like a search function, but that got deprecated. So I don't know if it's still used for anything.
Okay. We'll skip it. I can
Maybe
always go back and edit,
I
I'm sure.
I bet you could do some fancy stuff with scripting when you're like
Oh, okay.
batching stuff, but for now let's just ignore it. If you look at the very and then one other thing is that stitch button. is useful if you don't have like a tool for tiling the cards, because
Okay.
that will let you upload individual cards to create that sheet for you. But
Gotcha. Okay, sweet.
I most I personally do it all offline just because I don't like uploading like a bunch of little images. But
Yeah, that seems tedious.
yeah. At the very top of that sidebar, you're going to see like this sort of hierarchy of where you are, like a home button, assets, and normal
Hmm.
cards. And this is how you're going to do a lot of your navigation. So
Cool.
why don't we go? Let's go back to home, unless you want to upload the other assets.
Let's work through like one, and then we can kind of like start batching them. I think that might be the most efficient.
Yeah, yeah, I think that makes sense. So let's go back to the home, and then we'll go to like the next step. So
Okay.
components is where you're sort of defining like the physical things that you're going to be like messing with.
Okay,
So
that makes sense. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So assets is sort of like the paint that you're going to be applying to your pieces, and components are like the actual pieces.
Oh, that's okay. That was one of the things that really confused me because I think I tried uploading assets um, to like a project before, and I was like, "Where are my assets?" Because they were already like in the right. Okay, 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 okay. I'm excited.
So if you click on that, you'll see that there are a bunch of like pre-made ones.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then aside from that, there's essentially four different types of like primary components. There's tiles, which are pretty much anything that anything that doesn't have the actually it might make more sense to start from the opposite end. Counters are just like things that iterate through different states. Most of the time, you use it to count like
Okay.
scores. But if
Gotcha.
you had something that, sometimes I use it for rule books.
Oh, okay. So it's not just like explicitly like a thing that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's more like an object with states
Yeah,
specific. Like
yeah, yeah, with
okay,
multiple states. And then
gotcha.
die is for pretty much anything that has random states.
Okay,
And then container is pretty much for anything that you might want to put something on top of it. So if you
okay.
ever have a component where you put like pieces on top of it and you move it around,
Mhm.
that's useful for that. And then tile is for pretty much everything else, for every little
Gotcha.
component that like shuffles around that does not have anything put on top of it. So
Gotcha.
I'm imagining your cards are tiles unless you do put stuff on top of them.
Cards, as far as I know, do not have anything at the moment. There are going to be no, they don't have they don't have anything put on them.
Okay.
So can they just be cards then, or they are cards considered tiles?
If you choose playing cards, it's going to be preset with like the
Oh,
standard
okay.
52 deck cards. So you're going to want to use a tile.
Just like the tile one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then just create.
Yep, and then create. Unless you want to load in the playing cards just to see what everything looks like when it's
Oh
set up.
yeah, that's what I figured we were doing. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
how do
Yeah,
I
sorry. Yeah.
how do I do that? No, you're
So,
good.
yeah, go back to the plus and we'll add the playing cards.
Okay, so do I then go to playing card now?
Yeah, yeah. Just click on playing cards and create that. And it'll pretty much, this is pretty much what a fully set up component's going to look like.
Okay,
It's going to have, all, there's like a bunch of things on the left that sort of define like the overarching aspects of it. Um,
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, the variance is pretty much all the different
Hmm.
like like forms that it could take. So
Gotcha.
there's variants for each type of card,
Yeah.
and if you and then it has like the shape of it. It's a rectangle
Hmm.
width and height,
Change
how
like the
rounded the
corner width.
corners are.
So like if you put 0 for that and make them square.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some like trickier stuff near the top. There's like how it flips, but hidden style is kind of fun because if you have like a does this game have like a hand of cards that you kind of keep private from
Yeah.
other players?
Yeah. You
So
generally keep them kind of hidden.
so we'll go over that, but hidden style pretty much tells you what it's going to look like when it's hidden in like somebody's hand. And
Gotcha. Okay.
opaque is the default and just sort of grays it out. But you could also set it so it shows the back of the card, like the what it
Yeah.
looks like when it's face down. and
Okay.
stuff like that. So, um,
Neat.
and then rotation orientations. This screen top has like default, like sort of automatically rotates it so many degrees. And if
Mm-hmm.
you have it set to 4, then it's going, if you rotate it, it'll rotate it like 90
90.
degrees.
Yeah. Okay.
So for your game, a lot of stuff is going to be like 6 because you're
Yeah,
going to be
because it's going
rotating
to be
like,
rotating on. Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
But for cards, I don't know if we,
Nah, cards we don't they don't rotate. They're very boring in terms of like you put them on the table and then into a discard. Like that's basically it.
yeah, yeah. So let's see. The only things we haven't gone over are fields, which is relatively new. And,
Oh,
oh, it's because I think you might have
it'll
messed up
like.
the corner. It'll remind you if you haven't, if you change something and you
Oh,
haven't
okay,
saved it.
gotcha. Okay, because it was like, are you sure you want to leave this page? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think
Gotcha.
yeah, it just wants to
Okay,
make sure
it's
you
not actually
save.
like I thought it was taking me off the website for some
Oh
reason.
no, no.
Okay.
Fields is if you want to be able to write on the card. That will add like
Mm,
text fields to it. So if you want to type on it, that's how you would
gotcha.
do that. And
Okay,
then
so is this now is this like writable for like anybody or is it just in the like when you're editing it?
this would be writable for anybody. The
Okay.
fields are like something that I think you might be able to lock it. I'm not sure. I don't play
Maybe.
with it that much, but I think you might be able to
There's
lock it.
yeah, I'm sure there's like a setting somewhere that lets you. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Sweet.
and then the last option thing is objects, and that's just a listing of all the like when you start putting them on the table. Like let's experiment. You see that
Okay.
treasure chest in the top right corner?
Yep.
So if you go to there, you see all the components you've defined so far. So if you go to playing
Mm-hmm.
card, you can see all the different variants. If you want to create like a whole deck, you could press the select all
The
button
select
at the
all. Okay.
bottom and just
And then
create.
just hit create. Okay.
And now you got like a whole deck of cards on the table.
Neat.
Now, if you were to go back to your sidebar, you'll see under objects it
Mm,
says
hmm.
52 because there's
Gotcha.
52 of these objects on the table.
Nice.
So sometimes, like, if you want to select all the objects that you've created in the game, this is like a convenient way of doing that if you have them like all over the place.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you'll probably, I'm assuming, get the game set up in some capacity, and so if you have like multiple starting decks or whatever, you can keep track of like where all those are. Okay,
Yeah,
sweet,
yeah. Okay,
cool.
and that's pretty much the anatomy of a tile component. The every other component is just slightly different versions of this. Like with dice, you set like how many sides it
Hmm.
has, and setting up the variants a little bit different. But in general, this is
Yeah,
like pretty much how most of the components are set up.
gotcha. And I think I just noticed something. The right is this like the right is like the table preview, and the left is like the object preview.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Sometimes they'll load up like this third panel to show you what the object looks like a preview of the
okay,
object before it's
gotcha,
like actually on the table.
gotcha. Okay, cool. That's nice.
Okay,
Cool.
so why don't we go back to your first tile and we'll start making your cards.
Sounds good.
So you'll probably want to make it have like the shape of a card. So um, the exact pixels that you use don't matter too much. Sometimes I just use like 100 DPI in my head just and you could always rescale this if you wanted to like
Yeah.
um if it didn't look right. So um
I'm
yeah,
just gonna guess 250 by 350 because that's
yeah.
like two
I
and a
think
half by three and a half.
that'll make it easy.
Yeah.
Um and then for variants, um let's let's set up one first. So just
Okay.
click on one variant and and so here, if you didn't have any assets for it, you could just make it like a solid color or even a
Mm-hmm.
transparent color. So if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to just have like, if your game just used blocks, you could create a tile that's just solid red
Okay.
or something like that.
Yeah, because this only looks like a card now because I told it to look like that, but I could have made it. just any shape really.
Yeah, yeah. There's even settings for like regular polygons and stuff, so you could create like pentagons in here and
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. And so but since we do have an asset, you'll see yeah down there.
We have our
So
normal cards.
mhm.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
so you set the front and the back separately.
Cool. Now in tabletop land is front like is it does it matter what I'm considering front and back as long as I keep it consistent across the whole thing?
Yeah, I think as long excuse me, I think as long as you keep it consistent, I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think
Does
it
it like
used to be
default?
I think front is considered like where like the back is like the hidden like by default that used to be the assumption, but I don't think it works like that anymore. But
Okay.
but yeah, back is usually treated as like
Yeah,
the
usually I think of back as the like the part of the card that doesn't have the stuff on it.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna do that here, and then if it's wrong, I can always fix it later.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right. So I have put in the first of cards.
Super. Okay, so we gotta save that
Okay.
and now
I
you
almost
got
remembered my labeling system. There we go. I have little codes for all the cards because
okay,
I like to
cool, cool.
organize.
All right, so you've got your one card.
That looks really good.
Yeah, but we probably need to do the other, what is it, like 12, like 17 cards?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go back to variants.
Mm-hmm.
And if you click on those little dots, you'll see an option to like clone it. And so
Mm-hmm.
you're going to want to clone it for how many different cards you have in your deck.
We'll chuck 15 at it, and if I need to make more, we can.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, is this gonna do what I hope it does when I hit clone and automatically increase the index
That would be
by
nice,
what?
but unfortunately no. But
Ah.
but you don't have to go through each one and do this. There is a trick to this.
Okay,
Um
fantastic.
if you click on those check boxes, but especially the one at the very top, it'll select like all of them.
Oh, okay.
And then if you click on that pencil, it'll open
Hmm.
up scripting. And I don't know
Ooh. Okay.
if you got a background in computer science, but if you don't worry about it because it's the scripting that we have to do is very limited, and most of the time you're
Hmm.
copying and pasting what other scripts other people have made.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah, no, this is my jam, so we should
okay,
be doing okay.
super, super. So the function here is just going to like iterate through each of these and make an update where index is corresponds to like the top
The,
level
yeah,
JSON
the
number.
yeah, yeah, the index of like the card in the deck.
Yeah, yeah. So for most people this maybe doesn't sound weird that it starts at one, but for programmers
Yeah,
it
that is
is a
yeah,
little
that's
weird.
not right. That's not right. I'm not okay with that. Screen top is unusable.
But so what we want to do is you could see on the right
Yeah, what
what
like
they
the
are.
output is, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah. So all of them right now are copying the
or
first
set
one that
to
you just made.
yeah.
But if you change the front index and you increment it by the index plus, I
Hmm.
think, one, then I think
Hmm.
you'll get what you wanted to get.
Okay. So like what would be walk me through as if I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
So what
So
would what would be the what's the quick way to do this?
so you want to say front asset index with the exact casing as it is on the
Oh,
right
yep.
side. So
So
front,
literally
then
just yeah, literally
capital.
just
Yeah,
this.
yeah, you can also just copy and paste that. And then colon, and then index plus one. And now if you look on the right, you could verify that
Oh,
that's doing what it wanted.
it like live updates that. That's nice.
Yeah, so you can see that the
Gotcha.
first
Okay.
one is two, which is what we want, and then it
Which is what I
goes
want.
up. Yeah, it goes up from there.
So I would like to try something fancy. If I did something like uh name, because I wouldn't use the names that I have in my shindig. I would
Hmm.
want it to be like name like H, if this does like normal JavaScript concatenation, like
Yeah, yeah.
HC plus index, I think that'll give the right number. So now,
Let's see.
oh,
Why is it?
unexpected token colon. I don't think it likes what I just did.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't I don't use a lot of JavaScript, but I think to do what you want, I think you have to do like a
Do
like
join or something like that. Yeah.
or I think you could like I think if you do like $ index in the string, I think it might inject it.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll try that, and then if that doesn't work, we'll move on. So it would be like name $index, possibly.
Yeah, I think.
Uh,
Well, it's still not doing
it's
it.
still. Is it this one that it's yelling at me about? No, I think that one was supposed to be there.
Oh, try commas. Oh, because it's returning like a
Oh, it's returning an array.
yeah, yeah. So try
Okay.
so get rid
So
of that last semicolon, I think.
there we go. Now it's not angry. Well, we've
Okay.
definitely renamed everything to name $index.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, why don't we try
so
what you were
we've
doing before?
yeah. HC underscore plus index, and then there we go. Okay, that's
Yeah, yeah.
exactly what I wanted. Amazing. Oh,
Super.
that's so nice. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, and then I just hit save, and it'll just
Yep.
magic.
Yep, it'll update all of them.
I missed the save button.
Oh. I was wondering why it
Okay.
didn't update. Unfortunately,
Okay.
clicking outside the window does close it for
Yeah.
some
Okay.
reason, which is
But
really
I've
annoying.
I've fortunately I have a good words per minute, so uh and hopefully a good memory. So front asset index colon, and then we just want that to be index plus one, and then this needs to be a comma because it's an array. Whoa, we've seen this for the first time, and I'll actually hit
Whoa.
save. Okay, cool, awesome. Oh, that's so good.
And then
That's so nice.
if you click on one,
Yeah,
there's
it'll
like
it'll show me.
these like little arrows kind of in the object preview, and I think those will
Mhm.
go to the previous one and the
Yeah.
next one. So if you
Okay.
wanted to like do like a quick eye scan of them,
Yeah, they're looking good.
super.
They do seem to be slightly misaligned because I think that's on my end, like by just like a pixel, like
Yeah,
not any. I don't think anyone would notice but me, but I guess you gotta have like some really good. I don't know. I'll have to experiment with like how I'm on my end arranging things because what I did was I exported everything as like a PNG and then put it all. Actually, you know what I think it is because I probably used a the way that it slices it, it probably has to. It probably wasn't like an even number of pixels
yeah,
per each like slice, so it probably had to round up or down a pixel or two.
yeah,
So
yeah. If it's not perfect, then there'll be like a little strip of like white or something. Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Cool, cool.
Oh,
But
but it kind of gives it a stroke anyway, so it's not like it.
oh
You could
yeah,
probably
yeah.
see a pixel or off or anything. Okay, cool. Oh,
So
sweet,
if you want, you could go to your little treasure chest box in the corner and you could like put them on the table and you can see what it looks like.
sweet, nice. Oh, click it and then select all and then create.
Yeah, there we
Nice.
go.
That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oops. And then if you want to let's see. And then is this your first time using like screen top for like
Yeah,
moving stuff around
I've
too?
never actually even like used it as like a player either, which I probably should have done, but
No, no,
here we are.
that's totally fine because yeah, we could go through it. So if you could should be able to click and move it around.
Yep.
And that would just move around a single card. If you want to grab
Oh, okay.
like the whole stack, you could like double click on it and then
Double
we'll
click.
like select
Got
the
it.
whole thing.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that because the other the deck of cards automatically came with this little like top box thing.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
double clicking is how you get that, and then how do you make it not do that?
And then you have to like click somewhere else to like deselect it, and then you can like
Okay.
grab a single card. To
Got it.
to
Okay, neat.
So like to do all the stuff like shuffling and stuff, you have to select like the whole deck first, because
Yeah,
you'll only
okay, that makes
shuffle
sense.
what you selected.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and F will flip it. And if you were to select the whole deck and you pressed F, it wouldn't like
It would
flip the deck over. It would like flip
it just
all
flips
the
the top card.
individual cards, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
interesting. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if I double click it, flip, now all these are face down. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. But it doesn't like it's not like the order has been flipped, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Like
it,
if
it
you took like
hasn't.
a physical
Yeah.
deck of cards and you flipped it over, then the
Yeah.
order would be reversed. But this is almost
Gotcha.
like somebody was like, "Oh, you want me to flip the cards?" and they individually flipped each card.
I think that's what the reverse is, right? Like if you wanted it to be so like right now, the let's try that again is on the top, but if I hit reverse, it's probably now a different card,
Oh,
and
I don't think I've ever seen that option before. I
it
think
might
you're
be new.
right.
And yeah, so now let's try that again is on the bottom. So yeah, you have to flip it. You have to put your thing down and then flip it and reverse it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I've seen the reverse function before. I think that's
They
new.
must have realized that their flip function was broken, and they're like, "Oh, we meant to do that."
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sweet. That's so cool. And then just as a thing that I have for this deck of cards, because I have a lot of duplicate cards, I didn't feel like making a million like individual images for the duplicates.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm assuming if I wanted to go into my normal cards and go to my variants, is there a way I could like clone these? So let's go to one that I actually want to clone. Like these have a lot of copies. So if I wanted to clone my card 8, I would select it here and then go not update. That's the wrong button. How would I like clone, right? This one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then there's supposed to be like 10 of them in the deck. So I'm assuming you want to make 9 clones.
Yeah. So you can
And
do this. Um,
okay.
but I think I would recommend just making multiple copies of it on your tabletop.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So when
I
I'm
don't
setting up the
think
deck,
yeah, yeah. So you could like be like there are these different types of cards, and then when you're setting up the deck in your virtual tabletop, you could find that
gotcha.
card, and you could even do
Yeah.
Control C, Control V to copy and paste it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like cool. There's supposed to be 10 of those. Okay, cool. That makes
Yeah,
that makes more sense than what I think I was doing. Yeah.
yeah.
And then
You
that'll just exist in the deck.
Yeah, because if you clone the variant and you later decided I'm going to change that card, you would have to change all the copies of that variant.
Mhm.
But what this
Um
way is if you update the one, then you update all of them.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. No, that's good to know. How would I, let's say I've made a huge mess and I would like to select, I'm assuming Control A would select, no, it doesn't. Okay. How would I like select
S-
all these and like,
so
is
first
there a way to do
select
that?
one of them
Okay.
and then press Control A.
Gotcha. And then if I hit like, I'm assuming,
If you, I don't think if you press left click, it'll drag them all around like that. But if you right click,
yeah,
pick them up.
right. Oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah,
Okay, but
yeah,
that
yeah.
that now that I know that, I will surely forget it and have to ask that again.
Yeah, it used to be that when you left clicked dragged, it would do that.
It would,
But too often people would like control A and then
yeah, you would
and
have like a row of cards, and you're like, okay, cool, I want to move all these cards, and you'd like accidentally do the thing where you
yeah,
merge them all. Yeah,
that
I can
that
see
has
that. Okay.
ruined a good number of playtests.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, because like a lot of people
Oh.
are like oh control A will select all the cards in my hand because like if you have containers and you press control A, it'll just
Yeah.
select all the cards in that container. But if you accidentally select the card outside that container, it'll select like all the cards
Oh.
on the table. So players
Does
who have gotten used to pressing Control A to select their whole hand suddenly select all the cards in the game, and
Now is there a way? Does Screen Top have like undo at
it does
all?
not. I think this is something that would be really nice. In fact, I should probably see if that's a requested feature on the Discord
Yeah,
because
because
I was like somebody was working on like a oath version of screen top and we were like talking about like this is really cool but like with oath you mess up something then your whole
that's
like
yeah,
legacy
that's it.
campaign is ruined.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know though.
Yeah.
And just to kind of plan around with this, that if you just don't have non-undoable things.
Yeah, yeah, that's unfortunately one thing that you have to be a little careful of. There's no undo button right now.
Okay, so we've got cards. Cards are looking good.
Okay,
Um,
so would you like to do like a make like a hand for like hidden information, or
yeah,
do
let's
you
do
want
it.
to? Okay, super. Then let's start working on containers, which I think are one of the coolest things about ScreenTop.
Cool.
So containers are a type of component. So
Okay.
let's go in there and yeah.
Container create. We have a container.
And let's see. Let's make this kind of arbitrarily big enough to hold like a hand of cards.
Okay.
So
So each card was 250. So I'm gonna assume that like a hand of five would be like 750 with some overlap.
yeah, yeah,
Ish.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a bit bigger. Yes. No.
No, 750 I think is fine. We could always
Cool.
fill with it
Yeah.
later. And
Cool.
let's let's see. Why don't we just create that for now, and why don't we just put one on the table just to see what that looks like.
You got it.
All right, so now
Mm,
we have a container, and if you were to
okay.
take some of your cards, you could drag them onto it.
Oh,
And now if you were to grab
gotcha.
your hand, if you were to grab that container, it
Grab the
would move like all
container,
of
it
them.
moves everything around. Okay, that's cool.
And so, but this is like, but that's not super usable. So there's
Yeah.
like some tricks we could do to make that a little like nicer. Um,
Hmm.
if you go to the sidebar, there's like this new thing for containers called a drop zone.
Ooh,
And this defines like the way things are put on top of it. And the default one is
gotcha.
a
Just a
grid.
grid.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you could change it to pixel, so instead of it putting things in the grid like pattern, it's just like pixel perfect. Wherever you put it, it
Gotcha.
lands. But
Gotcha.
there's another,
I'm noticing no hexagons, so that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, unfortunately. But there's another type of drop zone that I prefer for most cases, which I'm a little annoyed is not the default, but I
Is
understand.
it just like paint?
It's where you define like the specific anchors where things
Yeah,
are allowed to be
gotcha.
dropped. So if you were to go back to the upper menu, the drop
Hmm.
zones,
Yep.
you could create a new one, and you
Hmm.
could select a anchor type.
Gotcha. Okay. And so this is you specifically go in and add like specific.
Yeah, yeah, you
Gotcha.
could
Okay.
do points, you could do a line, and for a hand of
Gotcha.
cards, lines are really useful.
Yeah. So like if I put the gap of this like maybe smaller, I don't know what the gap actually does. Oh, that's like is that the gap between stuff?
Yeah, that's the gap between the stuff that you put into it. So
Gotcha. Okay.
those 2 points are the coordinates of the 2 points of the line. The
Gotcha. So
gap,
keep talking. I'm
yeah,
gonna be
the gap is like the distance between your components. So how much you want your cards splayed, or if you want it,
yeah.
yeah. Alignment is like if things like go start like if they kind of go to the
Uh,
center of the line, or if they kind of start at
gotcha.
the end or the beginning.
Yeah. So if you're making like a thing where you're setting like a sequence of cards, that
Hmm.
gotcha. Okay.
And then capacity is like how many objects are allowed to be on this anchor point.
So you can have
Um,
any hand size.
hmm rotate is really cool. This will automatically rotate stuff that you put into
Mm,
it. So
okay.
if you want to simulate people sitting around the table and somebody hands you a card that goes into your hand,
Mhm.
instead of it going into your hand upside down, it could automatically
Yeah.
orient
Okay.
it. So I like to
So
just
is
put 0 in there. It's like the
yeah.
degrees.
Gotcha. I was assuming I was one. That was my question. Was like, what is the default like rotation? So vertical relative to the person is zero.
It's relative to the container. So if the
Okay.
container is
Gotcha.
upside down and it rotates it to 0, then it will rotate to
Gotcha.
be upside down in the container.
Now, when people are actually playing on screen top, are they? Because like I know in Tabletop Simulator, it simulates being around a table,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so is that similar to screen top, or is screen top like everybody is viewing it the same way?
It depends on how you set it up because you could set it up so that people could rotate the entire table.
Okay.
So you could set up so just like how you could set up like four different rotations for a card or six, you
Yeah.
could set up like six rotations for the table itself, and then people could rotate the table to simulate them sitting at the table at a different angle.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so some people design with that in mind. Other people, they're like, this is much easier if everybody's looking at the same way. And
Yeah.
so whatever floats your boat. I like to do the around the table thing just because it's a little bit more what it's going to be
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. You do have to kind of understand like how is this going to read to someone who's sitting across a table? Like, can is this still readable upside down? That
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So
Um,
I've added this like line thing,
yeah, yeah.
this line anchor.
And then the last
So.
thing, at the very bottom of the that anchor menu, there's the set container and set tile. So what those do is they automatically flip or open containers. Containers could be like
Okay.
open or closed,
Hmm.
and so this is useful for like flipping your cards face up when they go into your hand, so people don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I
Um.
would set like my tile. So this is where like the front and back
Yeah. Yeah.
are concerned. So like set tile up means that if it goes into a hand and with the way I've set it up, it'll be face up
Yeah. Yeah.
when it goes into your
Exactly.
hand. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. Good to
So
know.
so now try putting cards in your container.
Oh, because this is the same container. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's so schlick. Okay. So question. Let's say I don't like how. Well, actually, just like a usability thing. So, like, let's say this is how the developer, whoever set up my hand of cards. How do I look at ones that are below?
Oh, if you press spacebar over something, it'll like zoom in on it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I was wondering about that. And now
Yeah.
is it just over whatever you have selected or whatever your mouse is over?
It's whatever your mouse is over. So if you do it over the container, it does like the whole container of cards.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I were to get like some other cards in here. So, gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And so let's see. One last cool thing. Oh yeah, so there's a couple things that we need to explore here. So uh one thing is that right now if everybody would be able to see this hand because it's not really like a private hand right now.
Yeah,
But
this is just a area we set to put cards.
yeah, yeah. So if you right click on the container, like and
Okay.
yeah, in there, then you could see seat policies and view policies. So you could set up this container to be for seat one, and you could set
Hmm.
its view policy to only allow seats, or if you're having like a everybody but this player sees it, then you could do
Yeah.
deny.
So deny seats, would that let me? So when
That
I'm editing these, is it when it says deny seats?
that
If I had
means
more
that
than two seats, like would it let me choose which seats can see it?
it's the allow and deny. Like denies is like the reverse of allows. So like if
And
you
so it's
assign this,
everybody.
yeah, it's everybody but the seat that you assign to it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because I set this to seat one. Can I? Oh, okay, okay, okay. I now understand. I thought this was like a radio button, not a.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so a
Gotcha.
lot of
Okay.
times what I'll do when I set up my games is I'll set up like an admin seat, so like I could
Mhm.
observe playtests, and I'll give that
Gotcha.
seat view access to everybody's hands.
Gotcha. Okay. Question. While we're talking about it, how would I change the seats? I just went over. I went.
Okay, so if we go
Whoops, I
back
clicked
into
clicked the thing. How do I get back to the thing?
click on the title. That should do it. Yeah, yeah. Then go
And
edit.
then edit. Okay.
So on this top level, there's seats and surfaces that we guide seats and surfaces, and guides is for if you want to have like in-game instructions for the players, but seats
Okay.
is where you would like add extra players and stuff like that, and give them a
Gotcha. Okay.
color. And you could also change the name of them if you wanted to get like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like player one, player two,
yeah.
everything
Or
else
if you
seems
had
like.
and if you had like asymmetric factions, you could put the names of the factions in there and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay, cool. This
And
conveniently defaulted to the colors I used, so
yeah,
we're
and
good.
the seats also have like there's like a option for a seat to be like a to have like a builder role. Um, yeah, the role you could
Okay.
change it to admin. So,
Admin.
and if
Gotcha.
you're
Okay.
admin, you're able to create more components, and you also have permission to like change the view axis of
Gotcha.
stuff.
Okay. So like I should probably set admin to admin.
Yeah, yeah,
Cancel. I want to save first, then go back.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Easy
yeah.
peasy. So now this will say C1, C2. I can say that only allow seats. And so then if I was, for example,
So,
how does one
so,
change seats?
so if
That's
you
not the button.
so
I mean, I
yeah,
left and came back and that worked, but
this will work. But also if you yeah, so now the hand's hidden.
oh, I've
A-
you've muted for a second. There we go.
Am I muted?
I I, I couldn't hear you for a second. That
Oh,
was weird.
I might have forgotten to press my talk button.
Oh,
um, so yeah, now that you've switched seats, the hand is hidden. And if you want to change seats again, you could click on your name and you could click that little, but yeah, that one. That one will let you leave your seat and then join the different
okay,
seat.
gotcha. So now that I'm an admin,
You could like right
oh,
click to,
I haven't set.
yeah, you
I only
still
set it
need
to
to,
allow seats. There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Cool, cool. Good stuff. I am learning so much. This is making so much more sense.
Super. I'm glad.
It was. I think it really one of the main things was like assets and components, like the way that those are kind of split. It makes sense the way they're split, but it really is not clear when you first, especially if you're used to something like Tabletop Simulator where it's like they're one and the same.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's structured very differently from our virtual tabletops, and
mhm.
it takes a bit to understand the structure of it, but once you understand it, I feel like it's much easier to iterate.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. And now this will just keep expanding as I.
Yeah,
There's like a limit, I guess.
yeah. At a certain point, it starts squishing the
Mhm.
cards to fit, unless you
Gotcha.
set capacity to it. And then the
Gotcha.
challenge is if your container is too small, then at a certain point you can't click the container anymore.
Container. Yeah. Is there a way to like bypass that? Like, is there a way to like select something behind something
Not that
else?
I'm aware of. So that's
Okay, good
why,
to know.
like when I was messaging you earlier
Mhm.
about like the creating those chevrons with like all the
Yeah.
different container tiles on, I was like, oh crap, I wouldn't be able to select the chevron if it was loaded full of like
Hmm.
pixel perfect hexagons.
Yeah.
Um, and for situations like that, I sometimes create like a handle where the container is a little bit bigger than the
Hmm.
things that's going into it, just so you could grab that handle and move it around. But yeah, that is a limitation.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And then one last trick that's brand new and is still
Ooh.
kind of in development is that if you right click on that container,
In
um,
the on the table.
yeah, yeah, you could hold it now. Um, and that will just put it at the bottom of
Oh,
your screen.
that is super nice. Okay, I was wondering about that because I was like, man, that's gonna be really awkward if your like hand is like all the way off screen somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
That makes so much more sense to like. Now I'm assuming this kind of disappears for everyone else. It doesn't
yeah,
just like
yeah,
exist as like a weird hovering thing.
yeah,
Okay, nice.
yeah. That would just be for
Cool. And
like
then
one player, and
gotcha. And then you can release,
yeah,
and it'll
yeah.
go back to where it was. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it might go to the center. I haven't played with it that much because it's brand
So
new. But
I'll put
yeah.
it here, and then I'll hold it, and then I'll move a bit, and then I'll release it, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, it goes to the middle of the screen,
Okay.
wherever you're looking. Which I guess makes sense. That's kind of how it would work in real life. Like you wouldn't go
Yeah.
like, I'm going to set this down. Zoop.
Yeah, yeah. So the only downsides to that is that like if you wanted to be able to tell how many cards somebody was holding, there's not like a way of doing that when you're holding it
Uh,
that way.
Yeah, I bet there's a way you could do it with like scripting. Like you have like a counter or something that updates. So like you put like just I don't know exactly how it would work, but I'm assuming you could have a contain like a dummy container that would stick around behind and it would have dummy tiles in it that
Oh,
would be like linked to the cards in their hand.
I don't. There's not really any scripting
I don't know.
like in the game or like on the
Oh,
game
okay. It's
level
not
yet.
okay.
I think it's something that's in the works. It sounded like it was coming soon, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It sounds like they have scripting kind of already in there in terms of like automating a lot of things. So I
yeah,
could see that in the future being a way that you could do that. Okay.
yeah. But this is also like a very new feature, so it wouldn't surprise me
Mhm.
if there was like some changes to fix that
Yeah.
problem soon.
All right. So I think I've got a good grip on cards. I think I've got a good grip on how like the hierarchy of stuff. We ready for some hexagons?
Yeah, let's get into the hexagons. This is where it'll
All
get
right.
hairy. So why
Yeah.
don't we so let's see. I'm not so why don't we start with like your chevron things? Because I think
Yes.
that's probably
Okay.
gonna be the challenging thing.
Okay. So I will upload. Let's I don't know. Should I for visual clarity, what would be easier? One that has like a design on it or one that's just kind of like
Let's do one with
blank?
a design on it.
Okay.
I think that would be better.
We'll do this one. This one it makes me happy. All right.
Okay.
So I have given it the thing.
Yeah, and this one's just one row, one column, so just
Cool.
save it as is.
Which board was this again? Just so I keep it track of mine. This was board 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go board 3. Cool.
Oh,
All right. That's
I'm
all
sorry.
saved.
I'm just looking at chat, and Shanti has confirmed that there is a screen top request for undo button. So
Oh,
it's been
good.
requested. Well, we'll
Good, good,
see
good.
if or when that happens. I imagine that's not the kind of thing that's easy to like just enable.
Yeah, just chuck in. Yeah, it's not a toggle switch, but that would be cool if they had like live update stuff because I could see that being especially if, with the way that I was describing it with having like dummy objects that you wouldn't have to have like a display hand thing. You could have that anyways.
Yeah.
Hexagons.
Yeah, hexagons. Let's get into it. So now that you have your asset, let's go back to components and let the real fun begin. So we'll make a container for this one.
Okay.
And if you look into the yeah, go ahead and set the name and stuff. And
Now, since all the boards are the same shape, would I be making variants of this specific one, right?
yeah. So
Okay.
all your boards are going to be using this same component.
Gotcha. Okay. So I will just call this human golf boards. Fantastic. All right.
And so I mentioned this will have 6 orientations. Yeah.
Cool.
And now the shape is where it's going to get fun. So we have support for circles, polygons, and paths. So let's select the path.
Okay.
And I believe you mentioned that you have a SVG file for this,
I didn't make it, but
potentially.
I can chuck one together really quick as you sort of go over how tabletop works this. So just if you give me like
Yeah.
a few seconds, I can put this together really quick.
Okay, cool. And I also have a path for it too if it's a lot of work. But if you
Oh, it's not.
okay. So so I'm not super familiar with how like
Question
SV I'm sorry?
real quick just before you get too into it. Would it be better for me to have all these hexagons in the SVG or should it just be an outline?
Just the outline.
Okay. I can make that happen. Okay, continue on, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm not super familiar with like SVG files and paths and whatnot, but all I know is that when you have a SVG file, if you look at it in like a text editor, it has like a path defined in
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
And so if you grab that path out of the text file, then you could copy and paste that into ScreenTop, and it will conveniently and it will create something with that shape.
Okay, so if I open this with like Notepad or something,
Yeah.
uh, why is Notepad not on one of the
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
So I've
So
got all this nonsense.
Yeah, if you look down near the bottom, there's like this path class equals, and yeah, you want to select that whole string right there.
I'm assuming no quotation
Yeah,
marks in
no
that.
quotation marks, yeah.
Okay. So then now, if I go in here and paste it,
Yeah.
and then just hit save, must not contain more than 64 commands.
Oh no, it's too big.
Is it too complicated?
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess so.
I mean, it's not that complicated of a shape. It's literally just like,
I wonder if because I've made it and it didn't complain. I wonder if
uh,
somehow it
yeah, some
exported
latency.
like the other hexagon somehow or something.
Maybe. Oh, that probably is what it is. If I go to like file and then export selection, it probably won't be as mad.
Yeah, let's try that.
So, all right. So, cleverly named asset two. Okay, let me try opening this in Notepad now. Okay, that looks simpler-ish.
Yeah, I think
And then if
so.
this doesn't work, then we'll just use yours. Yeah. Okay. We'll
Okay,
we'll use yours.
yeah,
I'll figure that out later.
yeah. Let me
That's
send you
weird.
mine. I wonder why it's.
Oh, I think I know why. I think it's because it's not adding like line breaks.
Oh,
So it's so if you look at it, it's like must not contain more than 64 commands. This is all like one thing.
I'm gonna send you a path on chat.
Cool.
That's the one that I
Yeah,
was
like
using.
yeah, yours is like CSV. It's like separated with commas or something. Yeah, weird.
Okay.
I wonder, and there, yeah, because now it's in as like it's defined as like lines now.
And
Weird.
so just for like the sake of demonstration, if you were to like put this onto the table,
Okay.
because I like did it weird, it's like kind of off center.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
like
how
the
to
corner, you
explain.
can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the origin
If
is set to like the
or,
top left.
and you'll really see it if you try rotating it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh wait, I'm
or
rotating
sorry,
the whole
wrong.
board.
Oh, I'm sorry. Try Q and E. Or
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really weird. So you could fix that. If you go back to there and yeah, you click move
Okay.
and you press that like target reticule, it like
Is that like
centers
auto
it.
center?
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
think so.
Cool. And
And then oh,
now,
you gotta
oh, I
save
have
it
to
for yeah,
save. Yeah.
yeah,
There we
there.
go.
Yeah.
Much better.
Okay.
Cool.
And so and also I think this is probably way too small. Like compared to if
Yeah,
you
for sure.
put it next to a card for scale, it's probably teeny tiny.
Yeah. Like, oh, just create one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's way too small.
Now,
Luckily, I'm sorry.
just like in just for like reference for scaling and stuff. Is it normal to have everything kind of just scaled relative, and then when the player loads in, they zoom in or out to fit everything?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's pretty
Okay.
normal. But there's also like an option for resizing like everything in the game if you needed to.
Okay.
So
So you can get everything relatively the way you want it, and then kind of scale it to the default zoom. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So I don't know exact size that you need this, but like, yeah, you could go in there and you could change the width to be whatever is right. So if,
Is there a way to will this auto like keep the
oh yeah,
ratio,
yeah, it'll
the
keep the
aspect
ratio.
ratio?
Yeah, yeah, I'll keep the
Okay.
aspect ratio.
So this one's really close to 200. I think it needs to be like 4 times bigger, so we'll put it like 800 and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm, yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, that's good. I'd say
yeah.
that's good.
We could always
Cool.
fiddle with it later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neat.
But let's see if okay, so as long as like I want the one thing I want to make sure is that like that if there's like components I kind of want to make sure that we have the ratio right when before we put the anchor points on it.
Yes.
So but I mean I guess what I'm asking is like does it need to be super precise or is this going to be a or will this be
Uh,
a problem or not?
like in terms of like define like super like what in what way would it need to be precise, would you
like
imagine?
like I guess like are you ever putting like cards onto I guess it'd probably be easier to resize the cards than it would be to resize
Yeah,
like
you only ever so like if I pull out the beautiful prototype, So like you only ever are putting like a player piece like on a hex, like that's
Okay.
basically it.
Okay. All right. So
Um,
you're not
so
putting like
it's
cards on there or something like
no,
that.
yeah, and if and you can pretty visually tell if like where something is, like it's not too big a deal.
Okay. Okay. Then let's see. Then in that case, yeah, why don't we just continue with this? Why don't we try setting the variant and make sure we did this right? Because I think it should work, but I'm a little scared it won't.
So we're gonna use this. Uh,
And
so
then,
base. What's the difference between base and cover?
so you could set up containers to be sort of like boxes where you could close the lid, and so people can't see what's inside of it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
And by default, yeah, it looks like it worked.
that's pretty close.
It's a little, it's a
It's a little
little,
bit. It's like, is this? I did crop it. I do know that I did that. Like it
hmm.
shouldn't have any.
Yeah, is there any white space around the
There
sides or
shouldn't be. It looks like that's what the problem is.
yeah, because if it will stretch it a little bit if it's not precise.
Let me
Yeah.
just like check this in Photoshop real quick. Do 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 do. Because yeah, it's like the center, like it's like perfectly aligned in the middle, but it shouldn't. Yeah, like it's exactly
Yeah,
cropped
that looks exact to
down.
me. Huh. I wonder why it's
One, two,
not.
three, four, five, six. Like I think you got the right number of hexes and everything too. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's
I
off a
wonder
tiny
if
bit. Are
wonder if
those regular hexagons?
they should be. I don't. I didn't make fancy hexagons.
Hmm.
Like I literally just used like Illustrator's like default hexagon tool. Like
Okay.
unless Illustrator is making like weird hexagons all of a sudden. Which honestly, given the weirdness of Illustrator, I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah, it's possible that because I kind of just made my path based on the assumption that they were like hexagons, but I made mine using, I made mine using Affinity's hexagon tool. So maybe Affinity and
Hmm.
Adobe makes their hexagons just
This
slightly
hexagon's
differently.
different because they're not mathematical shapes or anything. They're
Yeah, yeah. So
uh,
so perhaps if
let's
we could either proceed with it being slightly jank, or we could see
yeah,
if we could
let's
figure out what's wrong with the
uh
path.
for the sake of time, I think we should just proceed with it being slightly jank. This feels like a kind of troubleshooting thing, not necessarily like a process thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's just let. I think we should just like because it'll be close enough. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. You could visually see where things are
Hmm.
kind of supposed to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to drop zones, and we're going to set up the anchor points for this. We could use a grid. Well, actually, I've been assuming that you're putting stuff kind of precisely on the hexagons. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, so like in the original like play tests and stuff, originally I had uh like the way you would aim your shots in normal human golf was that you would put like your player pawn on the back of like the hexagon in the direction you were wanting to shoot it.
Okay,
Um, shoot, is that the right hit? I think it's more accurate for golf. But really, like as long as they're kind of generally in the center, that's probably fine.
okay.
Um,
Um,
but I would like to know how to do like set up like actual proper like hexagon
okay, okay.
shindigs if we can
So
do
yeah, yeah, we could do that. On the screen top Discord, there's like a bunch of like scripts that people have already kind of made
that.
that
Hmm.
do all the like scary math. So if we were to go back to drop zones and create like an anchor drop zone,
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so the I would delete that drop zone, create a new one, call it anchor.
yeah,
Not call it anchor, pick the anchor, and then from this, I need to go into the anchors, create a new one. This be points,
yeah, this one will
create
use points.
this one, and then I do.
And for this one, so this has a lot of the same stuff as the line with like the rotation and stuff.
Hmm.
But for this one, let's leave it at the center for now. And let's clone it and make like I think 35 more anchor points.
Like one for each of the things, right? Well, because I'm
Yeah,
assuming we're gonna populate this like fully and then delete the ones we don't need, right?
um I was experimenting with it earlier and I think it's actually easier to populate most of them and then fill in like the peninsula ones on the ends because if we were to like make it big
Oh,
enough
yeah.
to generate those peninsula ones, you'd actually have to delete a whole lot of
A
anchor
lot.
points and it would be a
Yeah.
little annoying. So I think it'll be easier
Gotcha.
to generate just like the inner circle for the
Gotcha.
most
Yeah. So
part.
do kind of the main hexagon shape and then just kind of eyeball the rest.
Yeah, well, I actually there we could do a little bit of math for those last ones. That won't be
Okay.
as scary. But so
Okay.
I
Cool.
so when I was experimenting, I did like 30 I did cloned 35 of them for 36
Hmm.
total, and then
Hmm.
we'll work from there.
Cool. All right. So I will make 35 clones. I have done so.
Okay, and then let me pull up the script and I'll send you that. This is
Fantastic.
one that I got from the Green Top Discord.
I should join them. I feel like I'd be friends with a lot of them.
Yeah, it's honestly such a great Discord. There's like one developer that's working on this, but he's like pretty responsive to requests and like when people have bugs and stuff like that. So
That's so
if
cool.
you wanted like tech support for this, I think that's probably the best place to go.
Yeah.
And also
Okay.
for tips and advice. So
Mhm.
so I sent you a script, and we're
Yep.
going to be doing a bulk update of all of your anchor points since they're all right in the middle right now.
Cool. All right. How? What do I do?
So I'm going to sit back and see if you remember how to do a bulk update of multiple things.
Oh, do I? Oh wait, yes, I do. I do. I do. I remember this button. That one.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. All right. Cool. And then
And then so
this.
R is going to be the width of the individual hexagons, which shoot.
Because I resized them.
Yeah, we you know what? Maybe it'd be
Oh,
easier if we
actually, wait. Because I resized it to a constant number. So if I actually, real quick, go back to. If I go back to this and go to resize, if I set the height to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. So if I set this to like, whoops, that was weird. If I set this to like 750, then each one should, in theory, be 100 pixels.
well, that's 100 pixels like from flat surface to flat surface, but we need like the radius from
Oh,
like
do
the
we?
center
Oh,
to a
that's right.
point.
Gotcha. So
Um,
that would then I would need to do like,
so the width I think is what we want,
yeah. So
which is
then
harder.
how does how does one count the width of? I feel like it the like they imagine that your hexagons aren't going to be like flat; they're going to be rotated 60 degrees.
Yeah. Shoot, I like looked up like a diagram on like how to calculate the something of a hexagon.
God, this is going to turn into a math tutorial real quick.
Yeah. I alternatively we can eyeball this.
Oh my gosh, I love doing that.
So let's create a new component.
Okay. So just create a new
Yep.
board, right?
Let's create a new tile.
Just a new tile. Okay.
Yeah.
And then make this like a hexagon or something.
Yeah, let's make this a regular hexagon.
Okay.
And
And then this will give us our radius.
and you could also create it you could change it so it has the flat part is on top.
Uh,
There's like an
ooh, how would I?
orientation button. Yeah, there.
Oh, gotcha. Neat.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
And
And
now we
then
can
if
eyeball it.
I gotcha. So like right now that seems a little big. So
Yes,
maybe if we put this to like 60, maybe if we put it to like 50. 50 seems a little small. So
yeah.
we'll do 55. Scientific method right here.
Yeah.
55 seems pretty close.
Yeah, 55. I want to
Maybe
say a tiny bit
56.
bigger,
Yeah,
maybe
right?
60.
Oh, 60? I think 60 might be a bit too big.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere between 60 and 55, maybe like
Yeah, because I'm
57.
yeah, because I'm trying to go off of like the these edges like right here. So maybe yeah, like
Yeah.
57 seems probably good. Go down one more 56. 57. 57.
Yeah, yeah, let's go
Nailed it.
57. All right.
Cool.
All right, we have successfully eyeballed. So let's go back and and try that again.
uh, drop zone, anchors, that one. Paste the whole thing. And then I'm assuming I changed this radius to be what was that number 57?
Yeah, 57. And I
Cool.
think yes, yeah, that's right.
I'll just hit save, see what happens.
Let's do a control A and copy that whole formula.
Okay.
And in case we decide that we need to tweak it a little. So
Gotcha. Yeah, because when you click off of it, it just goes away because
yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. All right, so
So
save.
yeah, save.
That looks pretty close.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's close. So
It's
the
like
thing
everything needs
that's
to be like shifted up a little.
yeah, I think it also needs to be. It's also like they're a little bit too close to the center. It's the way the script is working is that it's creating them spiraling outwards.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
let's try it again with like 58.
8. Okay.
That's a little closer.
I think
It's
visually,
because it's visual. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think visually it's getting closer to the center of the messed up graphics. I'm trying to
yeah.
like look at the
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
um
right. 57 was actually better. I was like
actually
looking at the visuals and
I don't know. 58 actually looks good if you like look at just
oh
like
yeah, yeah,
look
you're
at
right.
I think it's pretty close to the center. I think
Okay.
it literally just needs to be moved up.
Yeah, yeah. If
So what
if we were
part of the
doing so for this part, we could either do it in here or we could do it another way. Let's do it another way. So
okay
go, go back into edit.
into the
Yeah,
update or
yeah,
the
update. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, no you're good.
And so for this, we're going to just do, we're going to just shift up all the y coordinates.
Okay.
So if you do y colon, and then if you do
Why
anchor,
oh gotcha.
anchor dot y, then that's
Gotcha.
going to set it the same. But if you do like, I think you actually want to do minus like 10. Because
Oh,
like the,
is the coordinate like negative up?
yeah, yeah, negative is like up. So I think you want to like subtract
So
like 10 or something like that. And copy this whole
yep.
formula
Mhm.
so
Yep,
you
yep,
could
yep.
like make quick adjustments.
Did that
Yeah, yeah. So now you
work?
want to shift it just a little bit higher.
I think it actually might need to go like 20. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
that is really close. I think I went a little too far though.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like
You like add
so
like
like
5 or something. We're
yeah.
eyeballing again.
Yes. That looks really good.
Yeah, that looks pretty close. So,
That's as good as we need to get for right now.
yeah, yeah. And then so for those last ones on the peninsulas,
Mhm.
what we could do is we could clone like you can't really see what I'm pointing at, but like the outer edge ones, we could like calculate the difference between that one and the one just above
Yeah,
it, and then add
gotcha.
that difference to the cloned ones.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So do I just need to like figure out which? Because I'm assuming if it
Okay.
spirals out.
Yeah, it's the ones you're going to be looking for are numbers 21, 22.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I go to like 22, I have like these coordinates.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna like
But
copy the x and y values and put them in our chat,
yeah, yeah, good idea.
and then we can go from there. Okay, so that's 22. Put that. And then 21.
Or we only need to figure out like the coordinates of like one of them and compare it to the one above it. I was like
Yeah.
listing ones that we need to clone.
Oh, the ones that. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I've already done it, so.
Okay.
So it looks like they're roughly like 50 on the. Oh wait, did I get? I might have messed something up there. Never mind. What do I need to do?
Oh, sorry. So
You're good.
you're going to need to clone anchors 21. So if you click
Okay.
on the little
Yeah.
dot on the right, I don't think we could bulk clone them. I don't think.
Okay.
So you have to
If
like
I
clone them
do.
one. It's
Okay. We'll do
21.
them
Yeah,
one at a
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So just one of
21.
21.
Yeah, one of 21.
Okay.
One of 22, and
Okay.
then one of 34, and
Okay.
one of 35.
Okay.
And so those four new ones at the bottom should be the ones that are, yeah, on those corners. And so we need to figure
Gotcha.
out the difference between those points and the ones just above it. And I remember the ones that we need to clone, but I forgot the ones that we need to compare them against.
Uh, it's probably well if we just no, that doesn't work the way that I want it to.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
let's
So that
guess. Let's
we could compare
let's
that
guess.
one with, I think, 30 something, 20.
Yeah, 30 something sounds right. Let's try 30. Nope, that's not right. We're so well prepared
I
for this.
think, yeah, I know. Sorry. I think it might be
No, no, no.
22. Try
No, no, no. Okay.
22.
Okay,
Oh,
34 was one of the ones that we cloned, right?
okay, so yeah, 33 and 34. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
Okay. So 33's Y position is 25 point lots of numbers. And then uh 34 is the one? Yeah,
Yeah.
34 is Y position lots of numbers.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're
So,
roughly like 100-ish pixels, 104
yeah.
point 100 and 100.4 pixels ish.
Yeah, so if you add that 100.4-ish pixels to your
Yeah.
new ones, then
So like if I literally I'm just gonna for the sake of like speed, I'm just gonna add 100.
yeah.
There we go. That's good
Yeah.
enough. Easy peasy. And the good part is
And we
because we set this up as a container, then all of these are gonna just I can just change the background graphic on
yeah, yeah.
these.
Yeah,
Nice.
once you've set up one, then all of them are set
Hmm.
up.
That one. Oh, did I move the wrong one there?
Um,
40. Because I already moved one below it.
maybe,
Maybe
oh, maybe,
I
yeah,
might have.
maybe you accidentally moved like 35 or something.
What I should. What would have been smart is to. And just so I could think of doing this in the future. If I'm doing like weird anchor points, I should make a dummy graphic of like numbering each of what the points are, and then
Oh,
as you make
yeah.
them, you
Yeah, that
name
would be a
them.
smart way of doing it. Yeah.
And then that way, because they don't have any kind of label on here,
Yeah, yeah.
like that you can easily see. So okay, I think again for the sake of time, we can call this good enough. I can add those
Okay.
extra points later now that I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
where it is and what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
that's fair enough. Okay.
yeah, this has gotten me way closer than I was gonna get on my own. So
Super, super.
cool.
Okay. So now, let's see. What other things do we need to help you set up? I
That was
think that
kind
was
of
like the scariest bit.
yeah. The hexagons. When I found out that there were no like default hexagon grids, I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna suffer. But I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this looks. I mean, this is looking really good.
Yeah. Oh, another fun thing, just to show you, if we go back to that drop zone,
So back to the board and then the drop zones. Okay,
yeah, and then if we bulk update the container so that all these anchors have a capacity of one. I'm not sure
gotcha.
if you ever have more.
Players can share spaces, but this is good to know. So like, if I were to go and say, hey, like anchor dot, or do I even need that?
I think
Yes,
you
I do.
just need capacity.
Capacity and set it to 1.
Yeah, if you set it to one, I just wanted to show you a cool trick. And if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like clone like a bunch of those, if you like create like a whole stack of them, like 30 something of them,
Of which the
of
the like
the little hexagons, yeah. Create like a big
okay.
stack of them. Like just I think you could
Here,
select the whole stack, like double click it and then yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Or yeah, let's just do that. That's good enough. If you drag like that whole stack onto it,
Oh, that's neat.
yeah, yeah.
Does it distribute them randomly or does it try to do like closest and then
It tries to do it closest to where you are. But another cool thing is that if you press Z, which is the shortcut for shuffle, it like it like spins them
that's
around.
so cool. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so cool. So if we did this kind of the way that we were talking about earlier where it was like we have the different terrain tiles,
yeah,
um then you could in theory like randomize the board and if you wanted to and
yeah,
have like
yeah,
put a bunch of grass and then a few water, a few desert. It would look like absolute noise and garbage, but you could do it is the
yeah,
thing
yeah,
that we're
yeah,
getting at.
yeah,
That's so
exactly.
cool.
And also, it's just really fun to do.
I know. I could see myself doing this for like hours. I remember for Spellbook Scramble there is a uh the way that the objectives are set up on this like 10 by 10 grid is that like you have to have none of the main objectives in a line in a row or column, and then you can't have more than two in a quadrant. So those are kind of the rules that you set up when you're randomly putting them out. And so I set up a script to just do that for you because I was like, in real life you could just kind of eyeball it and put them out, but if you're just playing the game for the first time, hitting the button, like that's how I would set it up for someone playtesting. Is like I would just do that step for them. So I set up a button that would make the little piles like fly up and then whoosh over to the space that they were because it was all magical and stuff. But then I found out if I just keep hitting the button, it'll make them dance around for a while, and so it is literally just this. And I 30 minutes I think of my life was spent just doing this, watching it. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Okay, super.
Yeah, and I mean taking these off by the way, they look like real. I mean, I guess that makes sense. We used a script to make them perfect hexagons, but
Yeah, we made them based off of these, so it
mhm.
should be perfect according to these. But
Yeah.
somehow something got lost in translation between the
Eh.
asset and the SVG I made. But we'll figure
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. Again, I think like this is getting like knowing where like this is the main scripting stuff is infinitely helpful because I love this kind of stuff and this is like my jam of automating things like this. So I probably will wind up making all sorts of little scripts for this because
Okay,
this I
cool,
love I
cool.
love I love stuff like this so much.
Nice, nice. All right. I think you're the first person I've helped that's had like programming background who didn't like immediately have their eyes roll
Really?
back in their head when they looked at
No, I
that.
saw it. I was like, JavaScript. I know that.
Awesome. I think let's see, are there
I
other things that you're concerned about putting in to screen top?
We talked about player hands. We talked about. I guess like the only thing I would want to like kind of just walk through real quick is just getting it set up for someone like let's say I want to get this like ready to send to someone.
Oh, okay,
Um
okay. So you know this surface that you have on the right? Um,
yes.
this is pretty much like when you're done and you were to like send this to somebody to like play,
Yeah.
this is kind of what they're going to see. So
Okay.
if you were to click on the title in the upper left corner and you were to press play,
It creates okay, gotcha.
yeah,
Oh, okay, because I was in the edit mode.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Gotcha. Okay, that tracks.
yeah. And so now it's as if you were in that screen, but with all the edit options removed.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then I'm assuming that if I like left this and went to edit, then now I'm back to this and I can change everything.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sweet.
And if you were to make changes in here, like and there was existing rooms, they wouldn't be affected. So if you were in the middle of a playtest and
Got
you're
it.
like, "Oh crap, I forgot to create this," let me go create. You'd have to send them a new room afterwards,
Gotcha.
or
Okay.
have them create a new room. I mean,
Mhm. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good though, because if you're watching someone playtest, you could have like a separate instance of the edit open,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like if they're like, "Oh, this sucks," so you could like make a change on that on your little, without affecting while they're doing it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. But
Um,
yeah, I think a lot of the other like problems that I have are like just troubleshooting, like little janky things that you would have to do regardless.
okay, okay,
Um, So yeah, this has been incredible. I do not feel afraid of screen top anymore, which is good because I was
awesome.
really, really confused by the whole. I think the main thing, yeah, was assets and components being separated out, which I think is a way better way to do it than assigning exactly one asset to exactly one component every single time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
oh, actually, why don't we talk about guides for a second? Do you have any insight on those?
Yeah, so they use Markdown. So if you are familiar with like all the
Yeah,
weird like bracket
yeah.
stuff, um, then this is where you could like, if you wanted, you could put like rules and stuff in here.
Mhm.
I personally like, I usually just stick a link to a PDF of my rules because like
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a rule book for the
Mhm.
physical game that people play and test that.
Mhm.
But like once you have that there, you might notice that there's like this question mark in the upper right corner now.
Ah, okay. I see. I don't know Markdown.
I think there needs to be a space before the T.
Oh, probably. Yeah,
There we
there you
go.
go. Okay. Oh, that's good for. I think that'd be good for like a reference. So if this
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
if you did like turn reference, and then it's you just do like, yeah, on your turn you aim, and then you swing, and then you soar, and then you roll, and then you score, and
yeah,
then that is like that you can have
yeah,
that there, and that's just like a good little thing to have.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And also, if you ever have any like weird like screen top workarounds or something, then that might be a good place to put them too.
Gotcha. Okay, so if it's like, hey, like there's some weird like snapping things that you should be aware of.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, oh, there is a thing. So we have made one of these. Is there when I lock this, I'm assuming the snapping points. Okay. The question that I have then is there a way to make like a way for containers to snap together?
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. There's there is a way, but for your particular board, I'm not exactly sure how to make them like tessellate perfectly.
Yeah, because
Uh,
like they snap together kind of like this.
yeah, yeah. So
And
you
I
could
other
like
than just
jimmy
kind of
them.
like this works fine.
Yeah, like there you could create like I think the way you would have to do it is you'd have to make like a huge container, like a really big one that's like big enough to
Oh.
hold a bunch of those. And then you'd probably have to use the same hexagon script because I imagine the tessellation
Mhm.
is very it's not
It's close, but it's not. And
yeah.
the reason why is because if it was exactly hexagons, the boards would be like too short, and you have to use a bunch of them.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not able to make as much good terrain, so that's why they're a bit longer. And then that also allows them to kind of curve back in on themselves without touching.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, I'm afraid I
Gotcha.
don't know.
Is
If you had like a mathematical formula, like you could do it, but
There probably
are
is one, but I don't know
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
I
you
think. Go ahead.
you could you could do eyeball work to get it, but it sounds like a lot of work to be honest. But if you figured out like some of them, then you could probably
Yeah.
like just repeat that pattern out from there. But
Mhm.
it's I if you're not moving them around too much, I might just say like do your best and like to just
I mean,
position them.
like because in the physical world, you kind of have, there's a limited number of those tiles. So as you work your way through them, as other people are taking their turn, you're kind of building the next course as you go. In this, there's not really that restriction. I could just build a bunch of courses and just say have fun, and just not even worry about it. So I think that's probably what I'll do at the start. Um, I'm thinking there's got to be, because they only ever attach to each other in these three ways, like there, and there. So
Okay.
I think that if there was a way to put like a dummy object like on the ends of
Oh,
these,
oh,
and then have this snap to that instead.
you know what we could maybe do? Well, no, shoot. I was thinking that you could have like a container that's just like a little bit bigger than one of these and have anchor points for this and then the three outwards, but you would only be able to connect like one
Oh,
layer because you can't like have a container contain itself is the real thing that's like holding us
gotcha. You
back.
can't you can't like do nested containers.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So like I couldn't. So if we made like an outline, like one that was like twice as big or whatever, like one space
Yeah.
bigger than all those, and then put anchors here, here, and here. If we then went and attached another one that also had those anchors,
Oh, actually, yeah, maybe you could do something like that. Yeah,
because
because
if I could, because I can't, yeah, because you can't put. Well, I can make like a quote unquote deck of these, I guess, but I don't think I can snap a container to another container, right?
yeah, let's see. Shanti has some thoughts in chat. Maybe if you give the
Hmm.
surface a rectangle grid with the right height and width. Um, actually, height should be halved. Yeah, I think you're onto something because I think you could like create like you could create like containers that go. So you have your chevron like
Yeah.
hexes. You could have
Hmm.
like a connector container that goes into the chevron,
Okay.
and then you could have the chevrons go into the connector container. I might have to experiment with this, but I think there might be a
Yeah, I
way.
yeah. For now, like just having these, you just kind of eyeball it and get them close enough together. If you want to make your own courses, I think for the beginning stages of playtesting this, I'm just gonna assemble a few of them
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
say, give these a try. And if you want to rearrange them, you can go for it. But
yeah.
until then, just don't worry about it.
Do
Like,
do you want to spend like 10 minutes seeing if we could hack it together?
yeah, why not? I got
Okay.
nothing going on.
All right. So go. Let's create a new container,
Okay.
like a
Um,
square or a circle or something.
yeah. Components. I would like to make a container. Create. This container, we will call this connector. And then save that, and we'll just make this kind of like a long rectangle, right? So like,
Let's keep it kind of small. Like let's see. The hexagons were like
oh,
57, so
that's right, yeah.
let's keep it kind of small. Let's make it like 50 or something.
Okay, we like maybe like 50 by like 100, so that way it's like
Yeah, yeah.
because we need enough room to like attach. I'm
Yeah.
assuming
Yeah.
because
Well,
it has to
it
hang off.
like we're working like a digital thing, so like physicality doesn't actually matter that much. You could actually have the containers hanging off of the container and they'll still be connected. It's kind of trippy.
Yeah. Okay. Weird. So should
So
I leave this as 50 by 50 or is this fine?
let's do 50 by 50.
Okay. Cool.
And so let's create a drop zone in it.
Okay.
And let's create like a single anchor point.
Great. Anchor. Okay. We've got a single anchor point right in the middle.
And let's change its capacity to 1 and rotate to 0 and
Rotate to. Don't we want the rotate to be disabled because they're going to be going in at different rotations?
I let's my
Or are we?
the way I'm thinking of this right now is that we it would orient we would have like 3 of these and the anchor points would be the connectors would be rotated like 60
Okay. Okay.
degrees and
I
sticking
think I
out.
see. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Okay. So like the container itself is what's determining the orientation.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. And do we need to name this anything special just so we keep
Well,
organized?
the anchor point, not really. The anchor
Okay.
name doesn't really matter that much.
Okay.
And then so now if we create, let's
And we
create
need
one.
another anchor point. Because don't we need
No,
two or no?
just the one, just the one.
Okay.
I'll, I, I apologize. I'm doing a lot of directing without explaining, but that's because
No,
I
no.
don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that. No, I'm good.
Let's create one on your surface and
Okay.
attach it just to see where it lands on it.
Create. And where do you? So just
Just
like.
put it on like the table somewhere
Okay.
and put one of them on top of it and see where like, oh, maybe we should
Because
make it a
these.
little bit bigger. Oh, grab it from like the corner or something and yeah, like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see it. Yeah, because it's
Okay.
snapping to like the middle.
Yeah, let's if you go back to the anchor, let's move the anchor point up in like negative 200 or negative, no, let's see, 57, 57. Yeah, like a negative 100 or something, the y
Gotcha. The
coordinate.
specifically the point.
Yeah, the point, the y, yeah,
And
that point right there. And
how
let's
much?
move
And how much did you say?
like negative 100.
Okay.
And now let's go back to your let's go back to your oh, yeah, go back to the definition for, oh, I'll show you a trick. So click on the on your chevron thing and then press
Yep.
O.
Oh.
Um,
Ah, okay.
and now if you click on, there's like this triangle, circle, square thing by component in the upper left. Yeah, there. If you
Yeah.
click on that, it'll take you to the definition of that
Oh,
container.
okay, cool. So if you gotcha, okay, that's way. I was
Yeah,
wondering why it didn't like auto switch, but I guess if you can, I'm
yeah,
assuming
because
O is like open or something like that.
O is for like object, I think. There might be a hotkey to go straight into like the component definition, but that's how I like swap around between
Yeah,
stuff.
I
Now,
kind of like it being two separate steps because I don't want to accidentally hit
yeah, yeah.
and like, yeah, okay.
Let's go into the drop zones for this now.
For the chevron, right?
Yeah. And um, let go to this one first, the existing drop zone.
Okay.
And we're going to change go see where it says components.
Yeah.
Let's change that to tile one. Just this way, when you set components in here, you're kind of telling
Hmm.
it these are the components that could go in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. You're
Um,
restricting what can and can't go in somewhere.
yeah, so that way we don't accidentally drop connectors on there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or wait, is tile one the connect? No, no, you called it
Yeah.
connector.
We named it connector.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
I
okay,
think
good, good, good.
tile one is this like generic
Yeah,
hexagon.
yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay. And now if we go back to, let's add a new drop zone.
Okay. And this one
And
we want to be just an anchor, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Um,
let's see. Yeah, connect. Yeah, yeah. And for
function.
this one, we'll put connectors as the component for it.
Gotcha. Anchor. Well, let me delete the anchor real quick. We're not there yet. Components, the connector.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for the anchor point,
Or
this is on the chevron.
yeah, this is on the chevron. So
Yeah.
let's start with the first one, which will be like just
Just
way
straight
up.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do like, I don't know what would be, probably negative
Like
200 or something.
or well 300 or yeah, negative. Yeah, we'll do negative 200. Why is it y up negative up? Oh yeah, because negative is up. Yeah. Oh, that's too far. Well, because we need the snapping point to be. Do we want the snapping point to be in the middle of the next one or
We
into
we
the?
we want it to be in the middle and just slightly off of the board.
Okay, just okay. I see what you're saying. Negative like 400 then. Yeah,
Yeah, like maybe a
do like
little bit
negative.
higher, like 450. Yeah,
Mm,
just for the sake of experiment. Yeah,
yeah.
let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, there. And
Cool.
then let's set the rotate to 0
Rotate to
and
0, and
capacity to
then
1.
cool.
And then that's okay. So let's experiment and see if this works. So
So
if you drop it directly onto the chevron,
oh, drop
drop
the
the connector onto the chevron, it'll stick it up there. And now if you
okay.
take the other chevron,
Okay.
it needs to be shifted up a little bit higher, but
Yeah. So this snapping point. So this one needs to be like negative, like up a bunch. So like
or
around
well,
like
it's actually the connector that needs to be up higher. So I think that one was fine, like 425. Or oh, I see
okay.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm making
I
it so that when the connector is
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
there,
Okay.
because that's where in my head that's where like you drag
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. You know
the
that makes sense. Yeah.
because it'll show you like because I'm thinking like UI like the showing you the 3 points that you can put the center of the board.
Yeah, yeah. So the way it knows you're dropping it on a container is if your
Yeah,
mouse is over it. So yeah, yeah.
yeah. I see. Yeah, I see why you would want to do it that way because you would grab it from the edge and it's really easy
Yeah.
to line it up. Um, I think this works though, like in theory though.
Yeah. So now what's cool is that if you put that into that container and you grab the bottom one.
Hey. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, and then this still works as okay. Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, okay. And
Okay, sweet. So
so
that's yeah. I could totally get that set up to work as like a okay. So it's not necessarily like nested containers, but you're kind of making like a weird like
like A to
stack
B
of
to A to
containers.
B to A to B.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. Oh, I'm glad we
Oh,
managed to
that
figure
works.
out something.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Okay, cool.
So you can
Yeah,
make the
I'll have
content.
to.
Yeah, you could make you were right. The connectors should be a bit bigger, so it's easier to connect them. But
Yeah, because it's
yeah,
gonna get covered up by the board anyways. So
right,
like,
right. Yeah, yeah.
well, the original way that I thought this would work was like we would have like a tiny like so if I just like we would have some kind of like weird like half overlapping piece of something that would stick out on the end,
Hmm.
and then you would like drag it to that, and that would be how it would connect. Like I thought it
Oh,
physically had
I
to
see.
overlap,
I
but then you
see.
mentioned that it doesn't have to because you can have the snapping point be
Yeah, yeah.
off and away. So
Yeah, so
gotcha.
let's do like one more of those, just so because
Oh,
that connector is kind of straightforward. But let's go back to your chevron drop zone.
okay. We've it's it's beautiful. We've ready to send to publishers.
Yeah.
uh, baby's first to screen top. All right, so I'm back at the chevron.
Go to the drop zone for the connectors,
Okay.
and now we're going to go back to the anchors, and
Yep.
we're going to add. We're going to clone this.
Okay. Oh yeah, because we're gonna put it to. We're gonna. Are we trying to do the side
Yeah,
one now?
yeah, yeah. Let's do one of the
Okay.
side ones so we can show you how that works. So yeah, I'm not sure 600 sounds good. And then I think for this one, you probably want it rotated like 60.
Yeah, because we have to set it. Uh, we have to set it to. So now, if I were to go and put the connector on
So
that,
so you would since it only allows one, yeah, you could do it like that.
yeah,
And so now, yeah,
yeah, just like that.
yeah,
Nice. And then this would just need to be like a little lower and like a little
yeah,
like negative 350 and like bracket or something. I don't know.
yeah,
And so now if I do that again, okay, for first guess that was pretty good for how
yeah,
close it is.
yeah. But that's the
Okay, sweet.
idea. Okay.
Yeah, knowing that this is like possible is huge for me because I was really worried about having to like manually because now if it's like this, I can make a deck of these, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
can really quickly just like throw them together, and that'll emulate the actual experience of the board game.
yeah.
Sweet, yay! Oh, I'm so excited.
And what's cool is that if you copy and paste like that component that has the connectors already on it,
Yeah,
it'll
it'll make
like yeah, it has all
copy
the
everything.
pieces with
Yeah.
it, yeah.
What is it?
And
Backspace.
so you could like prefab them and then you could change
Hmm.
the variants on these too from here. If we had more than
Gotcha.
one
Okay.
variant, then yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool.
Shanti sounds like it figured out a solution too, which is a hexagon, a rectangular grid solution. Width would be half the hex size, and height would be the hex size divided by 1.1547.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, that would make it so that like you'd have like a center at each,
yeah,
but then you would also have like a bunch of extra snapping points in like weird places. I think.
yeah, it only makes sense. It only makes them snap to the closest hexagon position.
Hmm.
Shanti is also a computer programmer, so we got a lot of math nerds solving this problem.
I knew hexagons would bring them in.
Yes.
my regular polyhedra bring all the boys to the yard. Oh, sweet. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I'm so excited to start playing with this now and sending it off to like publishers and see if obviously not like right now, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I think it
I
needs a little bit more work.
I I'm 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 happy too because I honestly didn't think I didn't think there was a good solution for this problem, but
Yeah, the way you reacted when I first sent you the Hexagon assets, you were like, "Oh, hmm."
yeah, like I don't know how we're going
I
to.
don't know if we're gonna be able to do that.
So, but yeah,
um,
it looks totally doable. The way I
yeah,
think
and,
because I wasn't sure exactly how they connected,
mhm.
but seeing how after hearing you describe
Yeah,
it, it makes sense. Yeah.
because it forced, and obviously like in real life, if you really wanted to get spicy with it, like I also the reason why I went specifically with the shape as well is because you can also do like weird like connections like this if you really want to. Um, and so like I don't think
Oh,
I would do that in. I don't know if I would ever like make that in this, but that is
you.
something that I have experimented with. And now that I know how to make these kind of custom snap points, I could make a set of them like, hey, do you want to use weird snapping? Like,
Yeah, yeah. You
here you
could.
go.
Yeah, you could theoretically have those extra anchor points,
Yeah,
in
because
those
it would
weird
just be
positions.
yeah, because you would just say like, hey, snap to this way, and then you could just have those on all of the things.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and what's cool is that they should get covered up, I think. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Uh I
Yes,
keep
they do.
wanting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
click and drag on your screen to experiment, but like
Yeah, the actual connector points get covered up when you drag onto them, so you don't see them anymore.
I
So
guess
you can have
I'm wondering in screen top if they would get covered up. I'm not
yeah,
in yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Oh yeah, yeah,
connector.
because they're all in the same drop zone. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
So
cool.
yeah,
Okay.
they get covered up no matter what. So
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
very convenient because that would be really annoying if they didn't. You just have this random
Yeah.
spot on the middle of everything. And
Yeah.
then since we set that to only be the boards, then these well, I guess we didn't actually. So we would want to set this drop zone to be the human golf boards.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
that way you can't. I mean, we set it to 1, so like if something is already on it, it's not like you're going to be able to put something else in it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that way you can't.
Why is it still connecting to it? That's weird.
Did it just like not update or something?
Yeah, maybe it didn't update. Oh yeah, I think it didn't. I think you might have exited without saving. It's under the
Uh
drop zone.
oh yeah, components. Oh yeah, I didn't save. There we go. Okay, so now, yeah, there
Yeah,
we
there
go.
we go.
So now, yeah, that works exactly how I would want it to.
Super.
Sweet. So these are tiles, not containers.
Those are
And that's
containers. If anything
oh
goes
the
into
connectors,
it,
the
then
connectors. Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
the connectors are containers. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So it is kind of nested containers then?
They're like nested, but not directly so. They're
They're more like sequenced containers.
yeah, yeah. Like A connects to B and B connects to like A and
I don't know,
A
that
connects to
feels pretty
B.
nested. It
Yeah,
feels
it's
like they're
it
nested.
is nested, but I you can't do like directly nested. Like you can't do A with an A with an A. There needs to be like a
Yeah, like
layer in between.
yeah, like I can't put another of the same connector or sorry, another of the same container into
Yeah.
the same container. You have to
Or
like separate it out. That's why
and
like that's why these boards stack to
yeah, yeah.
like a deck of them, which is good.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, but not all the time. So
Right,
I
right.
do want it to. Yeah, this is cool.
Super.
I'm super excited.
I'm not are there any other weird interactions you want to try tackling?
Ah, I I mean, at least for this game, it's pretty set. A lot of the like other stuff that I have like currently that I would want to put on screen top is mostly just like setting up snapping points. And now that I know how to bulk edit those, that's not a problem at all. And how to set like criteria, like only these types of things can go there. Because with Spellbook Scramble, it's like kind of like two grids on top of each other. So you have like each of the squares and then each of the edges of each of the squares. And so those you put like walls in, and that makes like your
Okay.
corridors and stuff. So that's all just like the same kind of stuff we've been going over. Surfaces. Why don't we talk about those because we didn't really
Yeah.
cover those.
Yeah. So the surfaces are, you could think of them as like different tables.
Mm,
And so most of the time you're probably going to be playing on just the one table, but if you wanted, you could have multiple tables.
mm,
What I see this used for a lot of times is if you have like a two-player setup and a three-player setup and a four-player setup.
yeah.
Um, some
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes if you have like a game where you select like a faction and you have like a bunch of pieces that you use and you don't use the rest of them, you could put like all the
Hmm.
factions on like a setup surface and then you take those to a different surface.
They wait. So like you set up everything for like one thing on one table, and then you just have the player like copy paste that, or is that what you're going for there?
Like
Or
you could actually drag stuff from surface to surface.
oh,
So
okay.
you could
So
like if
like,
you yeah,
it,
go. So
how
like
do
not
you?
so if you click and hold one of those things and you press try clicking and hold and press two while you're yeah, you can also just
Oh,
do move to
move
surface.
to. Yeah, gotcha. Oh, and I see this is the default color of the background. I'm glad I figured out how to change the background color. I was very confused. I was like, neon green, that's an interesting decision for a default color. And I see it was my decision to make it that way. So that's funny. How do you navigate between surfaces without like selecting something?
So there's in the bottom left corner there's like this cake. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Neat.
so a lot of times people have like either a demo surface or sometimes like a faction
Yeah.
selection surface or
Oh, okay.
something like
So
that. And
like
then,
for example in this game like I could set up like multiple courses like preset if I
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's like, do you want to build them? Go to this table. If you don't, go to this surface. I'm like,
Right, right, right. Yeah.
nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. Other than that, well I don't I guess if we're like really looking for things, I'm assuming that um what are some of the other kind of like finalizing things that you would do? Like, so let's say I've magically made everything beautiful and it's ready to like send out to the world. I'm
Okay.
assuming that you set it to like some kind of public.
Yes. So yeah, if you go to permissions, there's a
Mm,
visibility thing here and you could set it to public and then
yeah.
anybody can find it. And I think there's a way, is it, try checking revisions? Is
Yeah, there's
it
like kind of
there?
like a forked like GitHub almost like system.
There's an option to request it be put on like the front page of the site, but that might only be for like members.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know if anybody could just do that.
Yeah, I think that's like a member like I think you have
Like
to have
the
a membership. And I think that would be under
gotcha,
permissions normally. But
gotcha. Okay. And then I'm assuming these revisions, like if I make changes to the like big changes, I can clone this,
oh
and then
yeah,
that would
yeah.
give me like simply separate kind of thing. Do those share file size limitations or no?
You know, I don't know. I've never really gotten close to the file size limitation, so I don't
Okay.
know for sure. But yeah, I use the revisions sometimes if I'm like making big changes and I'm like, I'm not
Mhm.
sure if I want to commit to this.
Yeah. Then delete obviously does the thing. Does it make you type in the name of the? Oh no, it
Mhm.
just makes you type in like the code name you gave it or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. I think, and I'm assuming page is like what like is listed under the page if people
Yeah,
like
it's
go
like
to.
yeah, it's like the description, like if you were to
Yeah.
go there. Yeah, it would be like,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So if it was like if I did the thing, normal golf just got normaler. And then if I go to the page, oh wait, oh yeah, everything you have to hit save for,
Yeah,
which I'm
yeah.
glad. I do like that. And now if I go to the page, yeah,
Yeah,
there we
yeah.
go. Neat, cool. Yeah, I think that covers it. I don't think I have
Super.
any other questions. And I'm
Awesome.
sure I'm sure I will join. What's the Discord link? I'm
Oh,
assuming Discord dot.
yeah, it's screen top yes, screen top GG Discord. I'll send you a link to it,
Cool.
But yeah, it's really good Discord. It's I get I see people getting answers to questions all the time in there, reporting bugs and getting responses. So yeah, it's the best place for tech support and guidance and seeing all the scripts people have made.
Yeah, this was really incredible. Thank you so much because I was really like just itching to have a different platform to be putting stuff on that is a lot more accessible because ScreenTop works on basically everything, right? Like on your
Oh
phone and
yeah,
on
yeah.
so
Check stuff out on my phone sometimes, and
yeah.
yeah, it's you could even edit stuff on it. It's definitely a lot easier on a computer, but the fact that I could like run a playtest from my phone is actually pretty incredible.
Yeah. So like if I wanted to make a D10, I we didn't actually talk about the dice, but I'm assuming
But yeah, you put the number of sides,
yeah.
yeah, for up there, and then yeah, the sides
Yeah,
down there is for the polygon.
yes. Yeah, there's too many sides. And then obviously like I'm assuming if you don't set anything else, does it just default to numbers?
Yeah, it just defaults to numbers. You could provide it an assets sheet to
Gotcha.
use,
Okay.
and it will use you would like unlike the other things, you would need like a dedicated asset sheet for it because like side number one would be like the first panel of the asset
Gotcha.
sheet,
Okay.
or I think you could set where the start is, but like
Yeah.
side two would be the next one, and side three would be the
Yeah.
like yeah,
Neat.
yeah,
Oh, R is rotate the whole world.
yep. And I think
I'm
if you do
still
Shift R, it rotates the other way.
so confusing. F is roll. Oh, because like flip, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Neat. Don't know why it's upside down.
yeah. Try pressing Q or E on it.
Oh yeah, I think I did. I pressed that on it.
Yeah, there we go.
Nope. That's world again. Anyways, that's for me to figure out. Cool. Yeah, I think yeah, I don't I got nothing. I think I'm good to go.
Super. Well,
Thank you.
I'm glad we figured out these hexes because the hexes could be
Mm,
pretty tricky. Um, we
yeah.
we just had like a minor hiccup with the asset for some reason, but well,
Yeah, but I think that's just like a sizing thing. Like I'll probably on my end try to figure out how to get the because I'm probably going to use that a lot as the custom shape stuff.
mm-hmm.
So I'll figure out on my end how to get my stuff at like my uh SVG stuff figured
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Um, so cool. I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome. I'm so excited. I'll be sure to send you this when it's all ready to go.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it'll look once you've got it all set up because this looks like something that would be really cool in screen top actually.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
All right, well, I'm I'll see you later. I'm going to end the stream
Yeah,
now.
thank you so much. I'm assuming you'll end the stream and then we'll say bye, or we'll say bye
Yes.
to the people. I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Yeah. I might edit this, but or I might leave it in
Wait,
because it's funny.